What's going on, you guys? This is Kevin with G.F.E, God Family, and Everything Else podcast. And today I have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine that I've met back in Seattle. He is Pastor Go. This is the interview that I'm going to be having with him today. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And I'm hopefully this isn't the only time that we get to talk. But today's topic is just going to be about being a godly father in the home and also what it's like being a pastor in the home and what kind of struggles or challenges that a pastor dad may experience with their children. Will he experience any type of rebellion or whatnot? But it's going to be an enjoyable time, but I am excited for you guys to listen or watch this. So until next time, stay tuned. Oh,
Hey
hello.
Kevin, hello.
Long time no
Long,
speak.
I know, right? Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Good,
doing
good.
good. Noah's right here. Uh,
Hey Noah, probably you don't remember me. Hi Noah.
Hi.
Hi. Still speak English?
え
英語喋れる?
うん、
Oh,
喋れ
really?
る。
Really? I just spoke to you in Japanese. Good. How old are you?
6.
6. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh, do you remember how long you have been in Japan?
5 years.
Seriously? 5 years? Oh my goodness. Wow. That goes so fast. You are a big boy now. You are this tiny. Wow. Right.
yeah, he's been like waiting for this moment. So
Oh really?
yeah.
Wow. So it's been like 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years since we've been.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Wow. Okay.
Um, I can't believe it's been that long. It kind of went by
Mhm.
quite fast.
Yeah. And with COVID and all. Yeah.
That was a
Very,
nightmare.
yeah, interesting 5 years.
Yeah.
You guys still live with COVID kind of thing?
Yeah,
Not,
just recently,
yeah,
I think on March 13th, they finally had
yeah,
suggested that you can take the mask off.
right. Mask mandatory is gone, but still, like, yeah, you guys are still with COVID. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, first of all, Japan was just fine.
Yeah.
The number was low, and I was like, okay, Japanese are immune.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, like, we're just normal life right now.
Everything's
So,
back to, yeah.
yeah, like it's there. Our friend pastor got COVID this past week, and so it's there, but not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
We actually, well, I know Kai and Noah, they had it.
oh, really? Okay.
And then for some
And you
reason,
didn't?
no, surprisingly, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we all tested and they tested positive, and then I was
Mm-hmm.
fine, but
Mm,
I don't know. We didn't stay away from each other or anything. They just
right.
it felt like for them it was just 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. 24 hours, like fever.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
Kai felt a little bit tired, but
Yeah.
since I was around them, I couldn't go to work for about a week,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, no, thanks for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm doing this because, well, one, I still obviously I guess everyone, but still a student to the Word and the Bible and
Oh yeah. We
relationship.
all are.
Yeah,
Right.
and for me, I still want to learn from experienced pastors that are well educated in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and this things that
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn because every day I'm learning something new, and I'm thankful for it. Uh, so I felt like no, who wouldn't be better than to talk to
No,
you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like when we moved to Seattle, and then Ayano found your church. And then when we came out, like since then is where like I've always believed and tried to follow Christ, but I believe since that moment is where my life changed, and I didn't take it more seriously until that time, and then it's just continued to progress after that.
Right.
And I give you and your church a lot of the credit, and yeah.
Oh wow, that's good to hear. Yeah, yeah. Good to be a part of somebody's life, and yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess what the thing with me is that it's been really important for me to continue having God at the center of this family. Especially living here in Japan, it's very easy to I wouldn't say avoid, but to get caught up in other parts of life, I'll say. Like the church that we are currently with right now, we haven't, to be honest, we haven't been back since they lifted the COVID, because they closed, and then they were doing services online where you can just sit there and watch it on YouTube. The pastor and his wife would have their service from the church, but nobody would be able to come. And then they eventually opened it back up, but then they were prohibiting you from singing. You can just listen to the music, but you couldn't sing. And then I was helping with Sunday school, but then they didn't have that anymore. And so they were slowly trying to get back into things, and then it kind of kept us away from church. Like I really want to go back, but it just hasn't been the same since. And especially for Kai and Noah, there was really no place for them to go because they don't really like sitting through the service, and usually they go upstairs with the other children. So but I figure since I haven't been away, that it's very important for me to make sure that, you know, I continue the foundation for this family in Christ. And being a godly father is very important to me, because that's what I want my boys to also think of their dad as. Well, love the Lord and then love them, and then trying his best to make sure that they are raised in Christ. But I like to hear what other dads, with their experience, have been like. But but I guess my first question for you is just like, I kind of forgot, but how long have you been a pastor?
It's been 20 years. This is our year 21 this year. So yeah, time flies. Yeah, I know, right?
21.
I don't feel like it, but
yeah. And 21 years, and the entire time have been, I think I remember you mentioning in Canada, or
yeah, we were in Canada. I went to Bible school in Canada, seminary in Canada, and then after finishing, we came down and we started a church in Linwood. So this is my first church, and it's been our church, and you know, yeah. So,
wow. But and I see that you moved to a much larger facility than like last time.
Yeah. It's been a blessing. It was like right in the middle of COVID, so you know, everybody. It was during the lockdown, so no churches could meet, and if we were meeting, we had to have social distancing. So not many churches could meet, you know, because of the facility size and stuff. And in our previous room, we all, like, if we did social distancing, probably only our family could be there.
Oh,
so yeah. So now, but then we had to move out, and God just led us to this new church. We have like about room of about 100 people. I think we can squeeze in 100 people there.
wow.
But so with social distancing, all of us could fit in, you know, everybody could come. And so that was a blessing during the COVID. So, you know, many churches were suffering through COVID. Many pastors were, you know, struggling with COVID, and we were just being blessed. We could meet together, and so.
I know when we see like the photos from the church, Ayano and I, we really miss going.
Right.
So when we see the new facility, we're like, oh, I wish we were back.
Yeah, right. You know, whenever you're back, you know, you guys have to come.
Oh no, for sure, for sure.
Right.
My next question was more so about when, since you're a pastor, obviously. Um, have you faced some family struggles of being a pastor, like a pastor, a dad, pastor, a dad and a pastor? I'll say that with your
Mm.
relationship your
Yeah,
with
well,
Sam, Christopher, and all them.
right. Yeah, all of them went through teenage stage, and that's yeah, usually a struggle for most parents, I guess, and most teenagers too. Um, yeah, and being a pastor and being a dad, I don't know. Mm, like I try to be me, all like in both ways. I when I'm a pastor, I'm still like me.
Right.
Um, and when I'm a dad, yeah, it's still a dad. It's just like maybe, yeah, I act nicer in the church. you know, uh, oh yeah, with like with your own children. I don't know, your patient level changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm more serious about them.
Mm-hmm.
I really want them to learn a lot of things, and that's probably why we just, I don't know if it's just me or many parents, but get hard on the children, because we really want them to learn the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And of course, I want our church people to learn the right thing too, but still,
Yeah.
yeah, passion as a parent is a little stronger, I guess. Yeah,
No, you're
right.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Kai is what, now 11,
Mm-hmm.
and he's starting to get into that age where, of course, he's starting to ask a lot of questions, but then he's also kind of pushing the envelope a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
as you would say. And I'm the same. I'm the same way as well. With them being my boys, I'm a little bit more firm,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the teachings, and then just making
Mm-hmm.
sure, like you said, they grow up knowing right from wrong and doing the right thing and being respectful. So I'm a little bit harder on them. Mainly Kai, just because he's older and Noah's a little bit younger, and Kai knows better. So
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, and I'm trying to balance it, but it's difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I think kids too, they respond to parents differently, from any Sunday school teachers. So,
Hmm.
yeah, they don't really hold back, and um, yeah, and I think every children, like we have four boys, but yeah, all children are different. So I don't really feel like I'm experienced. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Every time I feel like, man, this is my first experience. Like we raised Sam. We were, we with our first child, we were pretty strict on him, and we did the same thing to Hero, and he responds differently. So
mm,
like whatever worked for Sam was not working with Hero, and like the other way too. And then Chris and Dustin came, and they were always together. So we were like raising two in one package kind of thing, and so that was totally different. So we were like constantly trying to find out what works and what doesn't work and what I should do. And yeah, so that's a constant struggle or frustration, or I think every parent goes through,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
like those, yeah, there are books out there how to raise your children God's way and stuff, and I'm like, I wish that works for everybody. And uh, man, all kids are different, so just, yeah, it probably worked to the author's kids, but
You are right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
right,
It's just like with fitness. Just because my training style works for me doesn't mean it'll work
mhm,
for you. You have to tweak
right,
it
right,
too.
mhm,
So yeah. Sorry, Kai just showed up. He wanted to say hello.
mhm. Ah,
Okay.
oh my goodness, you have to crouch down. My goodness, you've got taller and bigger. How old are you now?
11.
11? Oh my goodness. You are a big boy now. お兄ちゃんね. Oh, wow. So you are bilingual? You can speak English and Japanese fluently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful gift. Oh, and you still play football?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen your dad's video several times, and you're
Oh,
running back and just yeah, dominating the field, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, awesome, awesome. That's good. That's good. Good to see you. When are you coming back?
Eh? I don't
When
know.
are you coming back to Seattle?
I don't know.
You don't know. Of course, you don't know. Nobody knows. But yeah, we miss you guys. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, good to see you. Good to coming. Thanks for coming in to say hello. Yeah.
Nice
Oh,
meeting you.
nice meeting you. Mama ni yoroshiku ne.
Bye.
Okay. Ah, that was so sweet. That was sweet. Is he getting into a little bit of shy stage?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Teenage boys. Yeah, Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
but he's actually pretty well popular around the neighborhood. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
moms
Mm-hmm.
like him because Kai has a big heart for no matter what age the child is.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah, so
Cool.
he's willing to play with them, and then
Yeah.
the kids feel great because they're playing with a big kid. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of the moms tell us that. So we're
Mm-hmm.
like, really? Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a
Uh-huh.
different story at home, but okay, thank you.
I see.
But
Yeah.
for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
Kai and Noah have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. That is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I want to say, like, would you say, have you experienced any type of rebellion from uh, your kids for being a pastor or godly father in the home? Any type of rebellion against the faith?
Um. Not really. Not against the faith. Godly father part, I don't know because if I don't know if I was a godly father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But um, being a pastor, I don't know if I don't recall them rebelling against that. There were sometimes they said, some of them, talking about complaining about pastors' kids.
Mm,
Um, yeah, but we've heard a lot of things about being pastors' kids, so we try to not treat them special in the church. You know what I mean? As a church pastor's kid,
right.
I didn't really expect them to do something just because they're pastor's kids. But
Oh.
still, sometimes some of them felt like everybody's watching, everybody had expectations. It was more like they created their version of expectation
Mm,
on others, because I don't think, yeah, in our church, I don't think anybody had any expectation on them. So, yeah, but still, sometimes just being a pastor's kid, they feel like they have to be good or something.
yeah.
Yeah, and especially the first two, they were very good at looking good, doing good, and they were good at church. And Chris and Dustin came and they were just themselves at church. So that was different.
Yeah.
Both was good. I loved both sides. When they felt like they had to be responsible as pastors' kids. Um, in in some ways, it's good.
Mhm.
Not always, but because that status was not their choice. They didn't choose to be pastor's kids, so they didn't have to be responsible as pastor's kids. So we tried everything to take those responsibilities away, so that they can be themselves, right? So yeah, and Chris and Dustin, we didn't have to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which was a blessing too, And so yeah, again, all kids were different.
Yeah.
And back to your question, I don't think, yeah, they didn't really rebel against me being a pastor, because Well, Sam knew when I was working in
Mm.
Japan, but Hero only knew me from seminary days, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, so being a pastor, and Christian doesn't, they know me only as a pastor,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, it's somewhat natural to them, I think, being, having a pastor, dad as a pastor. So they couldn't really compare anything to, and they just accepted that as
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. So that we
That's a
were blessed.
blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a blessing, and yeah. So,
Oh,
mhm,
yeah. I didn't build much of a strong relationship with Sam. Sadly, I
mhm,
enjoyed talking to him when I could see him.
mhm,
But with like Hiro, Dustin, and Christopher, I really miss seeing and interacting
mhm.
with them. And I'm amazed how quickly Dustin and Christopher have like matured. Like just for us being here for 5 years and just
Yeah.
seeing their photos, I'm like, that can't be Dustin. That can't be Christopher.
I know, right? Yeah, they grow so fast. Yeah. Yeah.
But it looks like
Uh,
they're having a great time in school,
mhm.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
would like to reconnect with Hiro when I can as
Mhm.
well. But
Right. Right.
yeah, I know that everyone's
Yeah.
living their separate lives.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Right. Mhm.
so my next thing, like I want to know is this is something that
Okay.
I've been struggling with and trying to get better at
Mhm.
um, myself since I feel like I should be the leader in the family. I want it started. It was usually kind of like a roller coaster. It'd be great, and then sometimes it would die off. It'd be great to die off. I'm trying to figure out a way, and I'm praying and asking God to help me and guide me in the right direction on so I can just sit down with my family
Mhm.
and be able to have like a Bible study time or just prayer time and
Mhm.
just having a good fellowship daily, um,
Mhm.
and not making it like it's a must, but like something that we want to do, something we enjoy or look forward to doing.
Mhm.
Um, so I was just wondering, was there anything like that that you had while everyone was home?
Mhm. Um, yeah, like when we became parents, we heard a lot of things about, other parents and Christian parents doing family devotion time and so on. So I thought, we both thought that was an important thing, and we should do that. So with Sam and Hiro, we did family devotion time after supper. They were not very thrilled about it,
Yeah, yeah.
to say the least. And yeah, we use like teenagers devotion book and stuff. We went through many books. We looked through many books to see which one is good and which one is more not boring and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it worked, but I'm sure there's some aspects that work.
Hmm.
But I didn't feel like they were clicking to that.
Oh,
It was more like mandatory thing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
mom and dad wants to do it, kind of thing. So yeah, but we did talk about God. We did talk about faith, um, and more than we taught them many things based on the Bible.
Mm.
And we did mention it's not just because this is what we want you to do, but it's because the Bible says,
Right.
we should do. So that's why. And we try to explain that. And so when they were teenagers, yeah, they didn't always like it.
Yeah.
But then later on, after I think, yeah, one of them, when after they grow up, I think one of them came back and said, now I understand that everything you told us is right. Oh, okay, that just cleared everything. Yeah, yeah, that was just a huge blessing to us, and okay, yeah, we thought this was not working,
Mm.
but they remember what we told them, probably because we told them over and over again, but
Yeah.
they did remember, even though they didn't like it at the moment, but it's there. So that was very encouraging to us, right? And with Chris and Dustin, we didn't really have family devotion time.
Mm.
But they come to church, they were listening, and we did talk about God and stuff, and they went to Christian school, so
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
was a big difference. The
Mhm.
older two went to public school, so they had this mixed
Yeah.
information, so Christian Dusty went to Christian school all throughout.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was a blessing, and that was a great help for their spiritual growth too.
I agree.
And they decided to continue on with Christian University, um, which was costing a lot, but still, we kept saying this is a worth investing for our kids. It's financially really challenging to this day, but still, this just being in this Christian environment, so that they can grow. At some point, they have to get out, but
Yeah.
yeah, but still, they can still be there and kind of being protected by God, God's word, God's family, and constantly hearing the Bible from at the chapel and from the teachers and stuff. So that really helped. Um, yeah, and gradually they started to get involved with the church too, and yeah, so we're seeing a lot of spiritual growth in Christian Dustin in that sense. And we're so thankful. Yeah, so we didn't really do devotional with them, um, but it was not just about the devotional,
Mhm.
because devotional is just like, I don't know how long you do, but maybe 30 minutes a day or something
Mm.
like that. I think that it's the bigger influence is how we live our lives, how I live our lives. I try not to live separate lives, being a pastor, being a dad, because I'm basically wanting to live as a Christian, right?
Right.
So
Right.
whatever I do, my um, standard should be the same, and my attitude should be the same.
Mhm.
Of course, some point with when it comes to the family, I don't know, we lose. I think I don't know. We loosen our patience up.
I-
I don't know how to say it,
No,
but
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. You get, when it comes to family, I think it's to everybody. We don't really practice patience as much as we should. So that's when our real me comes out.
Mhm.
When I'm at the church, it's easier to show patience and practice patience and love, um, but when I'm at home, that's when the real faith in me shows up in a
Mhm.
natural way. And yeah, many times that kind of stung me, and say, okay, I really need to work on this. And I hope I'm getting better, but yeah. So, but they see that, they see how we live, what we value, and
Mhm.
of course they remember what we taught them. But those everything what we teach them and what they see in us needs to be consistent, you
Mhm.
know, because they do see a lot.
Yes.
They watch us as much as we watch them.
Mhm.
Um, so any inconsistency, they catch it. They pick it
Yes.
up. Oh yeah,
Yes.
they're really pro at that, and which is really a good thing for us because we have to be careful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, yeah, how we value things, what I value in my time, with my money or whatever, that needs to be consistent with what we teach them.
Mhm.
We teach them about how to use money, and that is how I use my money. I teach them how to use their time, and that should be how I use my time. Those consistency tells them a lot, and our faith should hopefully, that shows in those moments,
Right.
like how I use my money, how I use my time, all those things is based on my value, right? So if I live by the Christian value, biblical value, that should I hope that shows in my life outside, both outside and inside out.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest influence on the children. And still, at the end, it's their choice to make.
Yeah.
It's their choice. It's up to them what kind of lifestyle they choose.
Right.
And that's the frustrating part, but that's, where we just keep praying, you
Yep.
know. So, I talk to many parents, they are praying for their children no matter how old they are. And that's how I think lifelong responsibility for us parents, pray for our children. And we keep praying for our children. And
Yeah.
yes,
No, I like that. The fact that you didn't really force anything on them. It was just more like you, and then the fact that it stuck, and then like that is something that I would love to hear from my boys is when they say, thank you, I remember, I understand what you were trying to tell me at that time. I thought you were being mean, or but
yeah.
and
Right, yeah.
I've actually had the conversation not too long ago with Kai about my dad. And I was telling him like growing up, my dad and I relationship has kind of been distant, but I do remember telling my dad, this was years ago, thank you for, well, one, always being there, and then two, consistently talking to us, teaching us how we should act and right from wrong, and teaching us responsibility and accountability. And I'm trying to use that and then use that towards Kai. There are some days where I'm a little bit more stern than I should be. But at the end of the day, I explained to him why I'm doing it, because I love him, and I believe this is what the Lord wants me to do, is to teach you how to act, and then what kind of foundation you should have moving forward. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it will be their choice if they choose to pursue it or not. So I guess I was just trying to figure out like what's a great way of communicating, and then just hearing what their thoughts are, and then sharing the Bible and hearing their faith. And with today's today, everything's very digital and electronic and everything. And the moment I had this whole setup, they were glued to it, like they want to do something. And so I came up with an idea. I'm like, hey, then why don't we just do a Sons type of podcast where I can hear exactly what you want to say, and we can go over the Bible, and you can share what you think, and then how you feel, be open, and then we can build a relationship that way, and then at the same time build a relationship with God. And then maybe it might go a long ways down the road. Who knows? It may last for a few months with this project, and then may die out or move into something bigger. Who knows? I guess I just been trying to pray and ask like the Lord, like, because sitting down and just reading to them, I can tell Kai's eyes begin to get really sleepy. And I'm like, and I say to him, I'm like, hey, your eyes are never like that the moment I put on a movie or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's good, that you're trying to do something with them. I wasn't good at that, so that's a great thing that you're doing with them. And and so right, whatever interests them, if you can find whatever interests them. This is my pastoral part thing, I think, because I wasn't good at those areas. But if you can find whatever is interests them, and from there connect that with God or the Bible, whatever, that's awesome, and
I mean, as you can see what's going on the media, I don't know how big it really is, but the media is obviously blowing it up about all the things that are being taught, and what things are being told as truth, and then what truth is a lie, and all of that stuff that's going on. And it's slowly starting to trickle down here in Japan.
Okay.
And so Kai started raising questions, and so I started explaining to him, but more with a biblical perspective, but then at the same time still respect people, don't demonize them, because what good is it if you want them to know who God is if you're going to immediately demonize them? So you can not agree with what's going on, but do it more so in a biblical sense. And then if they choose not to listen, don't force it, but be inviting. So Kai, he's like, oh Okay.
Yeah, this is, the world is getting more and more difficult and I don't know, complicated, I guess. Yeah, and this Northwest is just like way ahead of them. And so, yeah, it's probably still easier in Japan, but I'm sure it's coming down in a different way, different form.
Yes.
Because Japan, they tend to just import the surface of it,
Mm.
and so they will start to interpret differently, and yeah, and it's just in the media is a great tool to spread the word. So yeah,
Yes.
right. So yeah, I know. Yeah, but yeah, keep teaching. Yeah, we have to keep teaching them about the biblical value, especially now.
Mhm.
That we do with Christian Dustin too, and we do talk with Sam and Hero from time to time too. But yeah, it's the world is so like fast, changing so fast,
Mhm.
and it's almost insane what people are talking about, and yeah. So
Yeah, very
yeah,
much.
it's yeah. So and many churches are not really doing a good job on that either. So sadly, but yeah. So we try to tell them what the Bible encouraged us to do. How to deal with those people, and at the same time how to deal with the issue,
Mhm.
and yeah. So it's not easy, but
No.
yeah, it's so we have to have this strong conviction about the Bible, right?
Yes.
And we need to have the answer from the Bible. Not always, but yeah. So
Yeah,
mhm,
I agree.
mhm,
Yeah, it was yeah. Kai came across a question at school on a
mhm,
worksheet,
mhm,
and that's what kind of how I started to notice. But he
mhm,
told me that his teacher immediately had put the answer on all these sheets, and it was the answer that I honestly wasn't expecting. It was actually the correct answer. So
Oh, okay.
the teacher was
Mhm,
actually against what that worksheet
mhm,
was trying to portray.
mhm.
So Kai was like, "Did he do right?" I was like, "Oh, he did it right. He did it right."
Okay, okay.
But
Good, good. Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow, already, and you're 11 years old."
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
no, sorry, it looks like the time is kind of running out. But I would love
Mhm,
to kind of continue doing this with
mhm,
more of a open dialogue about some things. But
mhm.
thank you for sharing, because I did learn a lot. um,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no,
Happy to help.
I did,
Mhm,
because I felt like I didn't want to force it, and then you
mhm,
were more open about it, and
mhm,
that's what I want to do, because I
mhm.
don't want to push them away from the faith. I just want them
Right.
to help me continue growing
Mhm.
them in it.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is something that I felt like a few months ago. This is I really was big into fitness, and then it kind of died off, and I said, you know what, my heart's been burning where I just want to. I've been learning so much, and I want to share it, but how do I
Mhm.
share it? And so I figured, why not do the podcast and just put it out
Yeah.
there, and then
Mhm.
also speak to many people that have different backgrounds and whatnot, because I would like to hear and learn. So I
Mhm.
prayed and asked, like, if the Lord can just bless this opportunity. And it's not to try to
Mhm.
get big or famous or anything like that. This is just, I want to please God by sharing the truth.
Mhm. Awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
So, but
Mhm.
until next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Of course. Yeah. I'm good. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I know. Sorry that she couldn't be here to say hello. She actually
Mhm.
had to work
Right.
today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What's she doing?
She's working for a family business restaurant.
Oh, okay.
That
Okay.
she's
I
been
see.
friends with ever since she was like 9 years old.
Oh, wow. I see. I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Miriam said hi too, and yeah, we miss you guys a lot, and yeah,
Yeah.
and
All
yeah, come
right.
and visit here, once in a while.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right. Well, I
All
will
right.
see you Try to do this again. Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
All right.
Okay.
Good night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.